Have you ever asked yourself after a bad game, what am I missing? Or sought help from impatient friends? Or browsed desperately for answers that only bring up more questions? Your self-doubting days are over with Discovery, the first game-focused AI. Discovery is trained on the world's leading esports athletes to be your everyday personal coach. That's right, Discovery can help you improve your gameplay by giving you tips and strategies to take your game to the next level. Get started at aimlabs.com/discovery.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
Welcome back, everybody. I am standing here with Coach MC of Cloud9. I have to ask, how the hell does Leaf maintain this form over all of Americas into LCQ? And as the coach, what are you doing to create the environment that he can just be so good for so long?
I think a big part of it was I reformatted his PC the other day, and I put the essentials on it during practice, which was VALORANT, Discord, and old school RuneScape. And, you know, he's just been farming the entire time, and he's just a really confident player, really talented. Fits really well in a lot of the things we do, and like, he's just insane.
Yeah, I mean, all of that factual, all of that true. Thank you, MC. Mimi, take it away.
Thanks, Wyatt. Yeah, that does seem to be the key to success. Venom, can you vouch for those 3 items?
I mean, Leaf's a gamer, doesn't really play Valorant that much, but he does like his old school RuneScape. I can attest to that. He tried to get me to play with him, but no.
It's a good game.
It is a good game.
I'm telling you. Listen, it's a time sink, though. I'm telling you, it's a time sink. I'm surprised he can be a pro while he's playing.
The man is an enigma because
I agree.
despite putting all his time into old school RuneScape, he's still performing in the way that he did throughout this match. He's ridiculous as an individual. Yeah. And while Cloud9 had some good ideas, they played a nice, well-put-together pro, as we always expect from them. There was also just so many rounds that were just going off of him being excellent.
Yeah, I would say that this map kind of came down to just Leaf and Zekken, like in both halves. I feel like the Jets kind of just dictated who was winning rounds, like which one had like more impact in the round. It's pretty much what it broke down to, and I would assume the first kill stats kind of indicate that. I think that going forward, hopefully we can get a better performance out of Sentinels as a team instead of it being like the Zekken show.
Yeah, I think as well, the rest of Cloud9 were really supporting Leaf so well. I mean, Josh pointed out in his telestrator as well, just the way that they're using util to clear out the side. They have clear game plans in terms of fighting together, setting them up with the flashes, always making sure that they had the pieces in order to set them up. But the man was just let loose. I mean, this is right back to that top-level performance where, you know, he's on the Jets, not getting shut down on Neon and Lotus like we were seeing in some of the maps at the tail end of Cloud9 when they were really having that downturn in performance. This is him back in that prime form.
Yeah, clearly in this form, a man that is very hard to shut down. But that is what Sentinels is going to have to do for map number 2. We have Wyatt standing by with Kaplan to get ready for map 2. Wyatt?
Thank you so much, Mimi. As she said, I'm here with Coach Kaplan of Sentinels. I have just one major question for you, which is, why did you pick Pearl after the loss yesterday to 100 Thieves?
Yeah, so I think, it's a comp and a map we've been really confident in. We've been preparing for 2 months. We want to stick to where we feel like the work has looked the best. And we felt it was clear what we needed to work on. Obviously checked in with the team. Do you guys feel like you can fix what we have issues with? Are you confident? And it was a resounding, yeah, let's do it. And especially loading in, seeing their comp, I felt pretty good about it. I think the score doesn't reflect it, but I actually think we played a lot better today. So Pearl yesterday, we were pretty overheated. We didn't sound like ourselves. We weren't playing our game. I think we played our game and sounded a lot better today. The energy in there is really good. I'm proud of the guys. So the thing about C9 is they're pretty good at shooting. So even rounds, I think strategically we're in a good spot. They can steal the round, or they just make it really hard on our money.
100%. Thank you so much for the answer, Kaplan. Mimi, back to you.
Thanks, Wyatt. Yeah, a tough one for Sentinels, but I think we did see some of that improvement. But I think Vanity, one of the big issues they had, particularly in that first half, was really struggling to deal with these post plants from Cloud9. They were constantly able to succeed on those A splits, and were just every single time winning those post plant situations.
I would say the biggest thing that changed between this game and 100 Thieves yesterday is Sen had a lot of success on defense, like playing the post plants, but 100 Thieves was kind of just sitting there, like not doing anything, and Cloud9 was being proactive throughout the entire round, right? They were pushing, taking space, instead of just like, okay, let's plant the bomb and then run back to A main and play our spawn. So I think that it's something that looked like Cloud9 had really good prep on. I mean, the numbers show it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they had a really good read in terms of how to play the map. And it was, you know, a bit of a strange pick because Cloud9 have looked really quite good at this map in the past. Even with all the changes, we're playing on this new patch pull. You know, you can't really quite play the post-plant comp, this double wall comp with the mollies as effectively. But Cloud9 are so good at playing off of each other anyway and just actively taking space on sites. Not playing further back at all, really, but still managing to play off each other with the flashes and setting each other up. And yeah, I mean, sometimes I loved Kaplan's little response. He's like, sometimes you just shoot good at the game.
That is true.
I love those little casual reminders that Valorant is a shooter game. And like, actually, if you're aiming well on a day, because players like Leaf, yeah, they can take over, and it takes a lot to try and shut them down.
Yeah. No matter how good you are, it's always hard to shut those guys down.
Yeah. I can do it, though.
Yeah.
Oh, you're different.
Leafs never beat me.
If you were on Sentinels,
Leafs never beat me. Let's never forget this.
Okay. Maybe, could he beat you in old school RuneScape, though?
Probably. He might have beaten the hours on that game.
Yeah. He's got that one over you. But looking forward to this second map, let's take a look at our aim lab shoot around. We got the guy who plays the video game, Valorant, TenZ, pretty good at it. And this time he's playing the video game Aim Lab to get ready for the second one. We were talking about how good that proactivity was for Cloud9. And I think one of the biggest criticisms of TenZ in the past has been that a lot of the times we don't see that same kind of proactivity as a duelist player looking for new opportunities, especially on that defense side.
I would say the biggest thing that SEN's done in this LCQ compared to like the regular season is pushing TenZ in the secondary like role where he's
know him like that?
Yeah, I know.
You don't want to first name basis.
But like letting him follow Zekken around and like being like the trade fragger similar to what Zeppa does for Leaf, I think it like really helps TenZ in being able to just trade kills out.
No, I completely agree. I think that this month and a half has been excellent for setting up TenZ when he is playing that duelist role. Like, the supportive util is actually better now. Before, he was on an island. It felt like a lot of the times just left alone. And even on the, just dropped my pen. And even on the roles when you're saying he's playing that secondary role at the initiators itself, he's actually, you know, he's coming alive a little bit. People criticize the flexibility in seeing him play all these different roles. So they're like, why not just put him on the duelist? Well, he actually is coming into his own playing those, you know, the initiators as well, setting them up. We didn't really see it in map number 1, but, you know, Fracture, not sure what they're going to play. Maybe they're going to put him back on the jet. I'm not even
I think they used to run a double duelist comp.
Yeah, the double duelist comp would make the most.
That's where they did find their most success, I think, with TenZ in this roster, when he could be that kind of secondary duelist. Do you think they'll stick to that comp? And if they do you think the double duelist is still the right direction on Split?
I think it's Fracture, right?
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
but yeah, I think that leaning into your strengths, especially in like a high pressure situation, right? Like you have to win this, your year's over. Obviously they're double elim, but I think that team should be leaning on what they're good at. I think SEN should be relying on the double duelist because it's really strong in the current meta and they have the players for it.
Yeah, well, we'll see if they do stick to that one. We are hopping into the agent select here. Cloud9 as well. Will they make a change? Looks like a slight one here. Switching on over to the Fade Raze composition here, Brent.
Yeah, and as well, I mean, this is the Cypher getting playtime. And yeah, TenZ actually is going to be keeping on the initiator. And I mean, interesting switch-ups, interesting changes across the board. There is one player I wanted to highlight that we didn't really talk about at all, which is Marv. I think Marv kind of dropped the ball in map number 1 quite a bit compared to his match the other day. He was missing a lot of the pull timings when he was playing the Astra. He was first def in a lot of instances as well. I think he's having a bit of an off day, and he's going to need to step it up as well as we're heading into Fracture. It's not their map pick. Cloud9 are going to be ready for it as well.
I mean, or we're just missing over the Leaf on Killjoy.
Yeah. I mean, Leaf also plays so many different roles as well.
I think Leaf is world class on pretty much every agent class.
Yeah.
But I think it's something that could potentially change because he was like the linchpin in last map.
Right, he was
like,
dominant.
Opening up the rounds.
Well, he dominated on Jet on map number 1. We'll have to see if Cloud9 keeps that same fury into the second. Sentinels on the ropes here as we head into Fracture with Doug and Bala.
Thank you so much, Mimi Bala. I have returned from infiltrating the behind enemy lines. Okay, I have a source, and I can't tell you who the source is. His name is Zekken. We were standing in the bathroom, we were talking. He said he was really, really excited about this Fracture. I'm like, what would you be excited about Fracture for? Like, are you gonna run EG's comp or something? I don't know. They're busting out a Cypher. We have a Fade on the other side. For this to be how the series is determined, potentially is, I mean, we're in for a good time.
Yeah, and Sentinels has definitely been throwing out curveballs. I mean, yesterday you saw the bind comp that they were running. Not too crazy here, I'd say. I mean, the Cypher is definitely something interesting, and they're not running that double duelist, which the Death was kind of asking for.
Yeah.
I think the more surprising thing is potentially Cloud9's comp, but I think they're all pretty standard here, right? We're getting the common core of the Brim, the Breach, and the Sentinel as well. On both sides, I think Sentinels might have been expecting maybe a Neon, and that's why they go for the Cypher.
Yeah.
but they're going to definitely be missing a big tool, which is that KJ ult in a lot of these situations.
Cloud9 on the attack. You see them splitting towards B with a big old flank coming in behind them. 3 members of Sentinels have to trot. The turret should provide some cover, and yeah, you instantly see the turnaround from Rooney.
They're going to push spawn because of that. Turret finding some pings.
Yeah, but can Sentinels hold them back? Marv and Zekin have both gotten a couple, and you still have Pancados here close by. They didn't find any solace in spawn. They didn't find any room to breathe on site.
Marv clotheslined them at the same time, right? He's just still sitting here in Gen. Inside his spawn, behind the smoke. And Brent asked for it, right? He called out his performance on map 1. It was definitely a little weak. But that one right there, everything he did was crucial, right? Falls back behind the smoke, able to actually get a kill through it as well. And that buys the time for this flank to come through, and everybody on Cloud9 either is stuck trying to fight Marv or trying to reach back to help out against this flank right now. Great stuff. I do think that smoke, that follow-up from Jake, definitely hurts them on being able to chase Marv's position. Maybe they were intending to actually just hold behind Gen and not even push all the way up into spawn, which could have been a good idea.
Yeah.
But you could see maybe stuck between 2 of those aforementioned ideas.
Dispatched. The Bulldog, excuse me, finding some value at the opener. He sees Elsis.
Wow.
That was bold.
I mean, he just cheated that away.
Yeah, he did. Very bold.
He might be able to get a second here on the other side. Martin's going to try to deny it with potentially Pancata swinging with a Marshall as well. On the orb tap. Is he going to get it?
Dude, he is fearless.
And Marv missed his opportunity to punish it too. There's one more orb over towards drop. And you could tell that was the intention. Sentinels did a good job denying the Halls one from them. And that's where Zakin intends. Hip to hip. Again. Reaching and peeking.
Marv falling at the hands of Leaf. They've left him here, and he's going to go back and get the other orb.
No, the other orb actually was stolen from Zekin. Zekin picked it up.
Ah.
So it's not there.
Oh, no.
What do I do now? There's another orb in the form of the spike plant, so still some successful opportunities here from Zelsis. Can he get out? No. I'm wondering if he didn't hesitate there when he saw it was gone.
Yeah,
if he
just a step ahead.
Yeah, if he could have gotten in there. It's a great start from Sentinels. Struggled on the pistols in the prior. And it did force eventually Cloud9 on the second half to take a couple of ecos, but still such success for Cloud9 on those ecos. Not this time though. They've only had to take 4 total. But at this point, back to 50-50.
Oh, we're going fast, are we?
Yeah, Satchel out.
Oh,
Flash as well.
Oh, that's so pretty, but it's so well considered.
Tenz is going for it still, even further. Zepp is full blind. Everybody's blind. Follow-up from Saucy is disgusting, though. Just a stinger. And he gets both kills.
Right there.
I mean, one player not flashed, and that's what happens. Now they're actually getting all the way through into spawn here. I'm wondering if Pancata's checked his camp at all in that situation, or if they heard the door. I mean, with that smoke, it kind of feels like... No, he's trying to smoke underpass there, and it actually missed Marv. Scratching his head on that one, but Saucy's still combining for a massive round to convert the bonus instantly.
He's got 4 on the round, and that's a bonus for Sentinels. You're absolutely right.
They don't get to surrender and keep swinging.
And that is not something that either team was able to succeed at, converting the bonus like that. Just beautiful stuff from both Saucy and Tenz. I mean, to continue to keep them all full blind, and Tenz as well, committing to it fully. Saucy with the cleanup crew. That's maybe what we're listening to, Kaplan, when you're talking to Zekin as well, between maps, what they're referring to. Able to at least try to go for the things that they're working on, because that one, a very nice pinch on the north side.
Once again fast and once again considered.
If they start denying these eco rounds from going Cloud9's way, they're going to have a really nice time here on Fracture. Mind you, remember, Celsius was literally going for the breach ult.
Yeah, he's got it now.
Just now got it. He was going for that in the second round. He got to a point where he was 2 off.
Yeah, we had that whole crazy 3rd round thing where no one saw anything for a while, but now he's back to his old ways. And you're right, now with that Rolling Thunder this early, you question what the investment is here. I mean, maybe if you get, what, 1 more kill?
Is he really going to invest it? With that, probably they know the player's on site. They're trying to molly him right now. But the rest of the Sentinels are getting on here. Here's the breach ult.
Yeah, but they haven't cleared all of it so they can take the fight. But Saucy and Marv, both there. Both receive. And of course, it's Rudy Sheriff. He's got the Singer now, switches to the better gun, but not able to land the shot. 4-0 lead for Sentinels.
And that is a huge bank accrued for them, too. Not only are they up 4-0, not only did they convert the bonus and get this massive scoreline lead, but also the bank is going to be a problem. Cloud9 need to start eating at this. Trying to get them to spend the money. And this is why Cloud9 is good at these eco rounds, is they're willing to do things like this, invest the Rolling Thunder that they've been working to for a couple of rounds, in a round where, yeah, even though they're Cloud9, it's still a lower percentage round. And maybe that's why, compared to everybody else, they consistently convert them. But that's not the round, not the start they wanted, and it's a big investment in that last one.
Yep. Well, I have bad news for you. Whatever that was. I'm sure she's watching. Sorry. It's been a great start for Sentinels. You're right. They managed to get the bonus. They convert. It seems like their players are clicking. They've been very decisive on some of their early calls. You think about Zekken double satcheling out from tower to take a fight up on the northern side of B. Like, they have set ideas. Some of the stuff that you were alluding to, that perhaps that's why Zekken and Cap are so excited about, and it's working.
Yeah. Absolutely is. Such a shift from Pearl so far. Cloud9 right now, I mean, you're looking at a round where they honestly, they want to shift the trajectory of this half. Right now, they got to pull it out. Still, the only ult they've gotten online, I mean, you can see the kills, only 6 combined kills right now.
Another decisive opener by Sentinels. They flash, they double satchel out to take B main.
Oh, and the negative knife right now. Oh, not on the rope. Oh, they're chasing it down.
No, just barely. There was some damage out. Celsius is weak. Jake took a little bit of damage too.
I mean, but that's a lot of info gave up too as well for Cloud9. Right now, they're all on that north side, and you know it. The fact that 3 people take the rope, Sentinels is going to be able to rotate decisively here again. Are they going to make it, though? Make the right choices.
They're rotating back to where Leaf is posted up. Saw him just a moment ago down in hell.
And they did swap Pancata over towards the A side and said, look how deep his camera is.
Note here, Zekken has his ult, but no satchels. Swings out, off of the Rolling Thunder, finds one kill, a second.
Thought he had an extra satchel there. Now checks under as well, and he's completely denied the space. That's another 10 seconds off the clock.
Yeah.
Leaf snatches up the orb in the meantime. But Mars still has a breach or Brimble too.
30 seconds
they know where they
left.
are. Zekken just spotted all 3 of them.
And he plays passive in tower. He's going to give it up and try to challenge Leaf alone.
Oh, the flash out from Breach was very pretty there. There's an orbital strike again. Just buying time. We're down to 15 seconds left in the round.
Smokes.
They still haven't made their way out. Now the guns ensue, and that's another round for Sentinels.
The fact that they have no smokes there is their downfall. The early pick from that breach ult trap pays massive dividends for Sentinels again. Consistently, all the ideas are working very well.
One enemy remaining.
If this is how their fracture looks, I'm even more surprised that they continue to pick Pearl after yesterday's performance. Because this is very, very nicely done. And that was a classic old loud play that Saucy did. You're looking at the same play here at Arcade. Knife all the way through. This time it's slow. It's not the double satchel from Zekken, but there's a lot more players here.
The setup there is for it. They have the fault line. They have the flashes.
Zepp's just dead.
But you're right. This time, Leaf in a position to make a play, and he's able to clean up 2.
He's chasing him down like he's still playing Jet. just crazy. Now, they've actually gotten 2 ults off of that. Leaf got his lockdown up, Zep as well with his showstopper. But again, it's on this eco round, and they're going to invest it anyways. They really need a stop.
It didn't work last time. Can they do it here?
Are they going to recognize that they have to walk out through arcade right now? No, they give up the underpass, which nets them the site. But it's a much faster approach back through arcade for 3 players, all 3 of Sentinels right now.
Note that Zeppa's up in tower right now. He has the showstopper. No satchels to work with.
15 HP though, that can easily get punished if he pops it.
Do they dare invest another ult? They've gotten it down to a 2v2, and there it is.
Oh!
He's pushing him. Yeah, he's got to run out. He's got to get away. Ult not finding the kill.
Again, the Brazilians.
Time a factor now. Zeppa falls. Can Zelsis 1v2? No! Another round for the defensive side. .6-0 start.
Sentinels is on fire here. Whatever they do, it works. And Cloud9 is actually scrambling to respond in many of these instances right now. And remember, that round started with chaos. Falling back off of the rope, going back up north side, deciding whether they want to hit drop or the other. And now it's even getting difficult for them to read what's going on, because now Zekken's got the op-out, Pancata continuously swapping sides. And something that we're really not pointing out yet is the value Tense is getting with his knives. Ooh. Really exposing that op very early might actually lead Cloud9 to go for a fast punish on this.
Either they go fast or they rotate out. Do they dare stay? He's ahead of the smokes. He's gonna miss some.
He liked him!
Oh my gosh!
He liked him and satcheled him. He's 15 HP right now. Zeppa so low.
Iron Second's been on a freaking proper heater this entire series.
Oh.
That nade is gonna cause problems. That's another kill influenced by Zekken.
What a combo too. Saucy with the fault line as well to stun the planner while that nade comes in.
Tense controlling, corralling the remaining members of Cloud9.
Why is there Molly here too?
I mean, it's not gonna go off. They have no idea. Tense timing on this is pretty. He gets them both. How on earth? Okay, maybe this is how. Zepp and Zelsis combined for 3.
That nade is way too deep.
Rolling Thunder in play for Zelsis. Does he invest?
He has to get half. Is he gonna get it? Yes, half,
he does.
at least.
Zelsis now pushing forward, and Zelsis with 3. The Red Bull clutch for Cloud9 to finally stop the bleeding.
And those 2 final players as well. That must have been a 2v4. The double spray through arcade is huge. Look at this flank. I mean, so slow from Tense. It's the KO flank late. Woo. Yeah, Zeppa.
That looked magnetic.
Having a good time. See if we can get some energy back in this Cloud9 squad. It's not like it was missing. But the difference from Pearl to this is stark. And again, this is now Cloud9's pick. They are the best statistically team on this map in LCQ.
You question here what the staying power is for Sentinels, because it's just been 1 round for Cloud9. And it hasn't been a huge momentum shift back their way. I venture to say that Sentinels still have their hands on the steering wheel here. That's very fast, that's very aggressive, and that's another kill for Zeppa.
That's a trade though from Sausage still.
And the round's been thrown into disarray.
All the way back on his site too, and they don't get space from this. They even actually give up a Cypher ult against them right now, so the ideas that Cloud9 have are shrinking by the minute.
It's interesting, I thought they would wait for the second tap and then flip back towards A.
And they're so scared of where Zekken was early. Remember, he actually peeked out inside of the north side, inside of arcade, and he fell all the way back towards tower, so they decide they can't actually re-explore. Now joining back up with Leaf. Pancata's exploring.
Jacobs is all.
Oh, he's so close.
30 seconds left.
That's big. There's the ult.
He gets the stun off,
though. Do whatever he can to keep them back in the time. For Pancata on the swing is great. Eventually does fall. Zelsis once again a 1v2. Once again a clutch situation. The emotional leader for Cloud9 in a position to swing things heavily their way. He's gotten it down to 1. 10 seconds left though. He's got to commit to it. He spots him and Zekken cleans him up.
Love that play from Zekin too. He still has his nade, and he's challenging through spawn specifically because he wants to get into a position to throw the nade. And also, Ten's had a lineup from spawn inside there to deny the plant. So Zalsis did great, but
30 seconds
the players on Sentinel still, I mean, this stun from Saucy for Pancata. These two, I mean, yesterday it wasn't as good. It was good support from the two, but they weren't really able to find actual value in the form of their own individual skill. Today, it's definitely a different story. Round started. Haunt actually just went through and got broken inside of halls right now.
Just pistols for Cloud9. 3 ults on the side of Sentinels here too. They're pushing forward off of the Trailblazer, off of the flashes. Once again, nobody can see a thing. This looks like this is going to be cleaned up pretty effortlessly. I say that, of course.
Oh!
But Zalsis and Jay keep it interesting.
And somehow Zalsis has his ult again. Remember, 2 rounds ago, he used it to clutch up that one round that Cloud9 has won.
He has been farming these orbs. Another ult invested. Pancata just narrowly.
Second has his nade.
Missing the timing, and he's weak.
planted.
But manages to get away, just strafes right into the crosshair of Pancata. Jake, 1v1. He's so weak, but he swings out! That was so filthy!
That is disgusting.
Legend has it, he's still swinging.
Never been seen before, pop and swing in VCT Americas.
Spike planted. 1 enemy remaining.
What a clutch from Jake.
20 HP, bro.
From the big beam. It was too long for the replay even to show. My goodness.
You know what to do.
Disrespectful.
Right here.
But effective.
I don't even remember who that was against. I don't think I want to know.
Oh, big ult. With the aftershock too.
They're ahead of it though, and I don't think they realize.
No, that was just beautiful. That's a combination that Fnatic have been using a lot. Aftershock into the Brim ult, and that nets 2 kills for free.
The controlling of the space is beautiful. Sentinels up in numbers. They have an op in the hands of 10s.
Bomb grenade out.
Zekin 1 point away from the showstopper.
This is a round that Sentinels could have gotten reset on right now.
Uh-huh.
And they still could. Their econ is not the greatest. It's finally starting to slow down. I talked about that earlier in the half. Let's see how this goes now.
It's actually Zeppa who just got his showstopper on line too. So those 2 satchels to work with.
And the amount of ults that are popping off right now is crazy.
Just watching an ult simulator. Every single round feels like it has some sort of explosive go. And here's one of them.
The trip.
Oh, the trip. He can't get through.
Oh, it gets canceled. 10 just ulted him.
Gosh, he played that so well. The first trip considered. The second was the problem. And then the ult out from 10s.
And it's crazy too, because that ult could have come out much earlier for 10s inside of spawn there to cancel that ult. But because he's hopping, it took him a long time to pop it, but they also were really safe, so maybe they considered that they might not need to use it that early. Either way, I mean, it nets them a free kill there, completely unaware, caught Zeppa. And Sentinels are on fire. It's been clutch rounds for Cloud9. Not successful strategy rounds. And you heard Kaplan talk about how the strategy was working out. A little bit more on Pearl than yesterday, despite the score being even worse loss.
Another fast setup on the southern side. Zekin has ult. There's the fault line, the flash. He's right up on top of him.
I mean, he's in position now to
actually
follow up on it.
I don't think he ever saw him. How does that?
That is one of the most difficult positions to ult at because of the various geometries right there. Classic Razor moment. And Cloud9 now on the possibility of ecoing again, but the kill's coming back. They do get the lockdown, and constantly they're investing here in round 11.
Jake, hey, oh my gosh.
That gun barrel actually baited him into thinking that he's gonna get a kill on the close player. Forgets about the longer angle.
Celsius on the swing, right into his death. Another round for Sentinels, and they show no signs of slowing down.
Last round in the half.
And that's the fact there too, that initial push into tree actually does not work.
Need equipment. Thanks.
Zekin fell, doesn't get any value off the showstopper right here. This geometry is what I'm talking about. That box is so difficult to actually play with.
That hit Zeppa in the feet, man.
Bingo.
I mean, even the crowd's upset. 9-2 half in favor of Sentinels. Cloud9 looking.
Dude, they're doing it again.
Salvage the half. You're right. No ult this time.
The same thing, just getting this smoke down, satcheling through with the breach stun. Cloud9's trying to react into sand right now and go for a split, but they're getting chased down like it's pistol.
I mean, Marv just got hunted down too.
Everybody's dead. They're coming all the way back through halls right now. Cloud9 has the opportunity to even go through spawn right now.
Sazi has his ult. Where does he choose to use it? Right into pushing Rooney back, but he somehow manages to get away. He's being chased. Tens finds him. Zeppa turning the flash. The smoke keeping them at bay, but that's just brutal. Zeppa understanding where the last one is. It's Jake who gets the kill, and that gets Cloud9 to 3.
This has been a crazy half.
Switching sides.
I mean, already if you just look at the scoreline, but if you're watching too, I mean, back and forth, these ults coming out of nowhere, constantly being used in rounds you really don't expect them. And then this pace shift as well. Sentinels really over-relying on that tree push, which I guess they thought that they could get extra value out of.
Yeah,
because that's 3 times they used that idea.
They commit to either controlling that area of the map, and again, if we go back to the Zekin ult, there were 3 there, right? Like the read was correct. They were in the right place, and ultimately the execution goes a bit sideways. Either way, Sentinels up, 9-3 at half. We're gonna throw it down to Mimi.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's been a great half from Sentinels to recover from that tough loss in map number 1. But Vanity, the improvement started all the way back in the very first round of this game, where Sentinels is kind of continuing to show some of what we saw yesterday with really impressive coordination in these retakes.
I would say the biggest thing, like round 1, straight away, they actually had like a really set plan and how they were going to deal with the round. It's something they didn't have on Pearl for some reason. I mean, maybe they're not as comfortable on the map or whatever, but I think that you can tell that they look a lot more rehearsed on this map and they have a lot better plans of what they want to do.
I was just incredibly impressed with the way that they were taking control of the tempo about everything. I mean, it didn't seem like there was any point where Cloud9 were not just being funneled into the site that Sentinels wanted them to go towards. The pressure was applied right from the beginning.
And beyond that, it was also in these late rounds, the combinations of utility were really nice, stealing some stuff from Fnatic and implementing it really well. And I think some of that can go back to some of the guys maybe adding input to this team, one of which is Saucy, who was having, honestly, an unreal half, Josh.
Oh, he's popping. He also hasn't played Breach since the Ludwig Tarek Invitational.
I mean, Vanity, you were saying that he doesn't even like playing this character.
I mean, from the outside, it seems like it, right? Because I feel like he's had good results on it like most of his career when he's played it.
Yeah, he's been nuts.
But when they played it on Haven prior, it was Zekin on it, which just felt wrong, right? Like putting someone like that on Breach.
And even on this map, he was playing like Sky before,
or something.
Instead.
Yeah, it's like
the roles just make so much more sense this LCQ.
Yeah, this is much better. This is Sassy in his form, taking control of the game, looking like the championship player that he is.
Let's pivot to Cloud9 though, because they had a really rough half here. Vanity, what are you looking towards in the second one if they want to recover?
I would say trying to do the same thing Sen was doing that you were talking about is like controlling the half, because I think defense on Fracture is really important to not let the attacking do whatever they want, right?
Yeah, I mean, you just got to hope that Sentinels fall to pieces on their execs. You really do. You've got to hope that they put all of their time into the defense side and they just catapult Zekin in without really syncing up the flashes. You've actually got to hope that they just mess up and they're very readable.
This is a side of the map that we have seen Sentinels struggle on before, both yesterday and on Fracture in the past. We'll have to see, though, have they drilled it enough? Can they close out this lead and take us to a third? We'll see. Back with Doug and Bala.
Thank you so much, Mimi. You can't help but wonder, given how we saw Sentinels dictate the pace, as Josh was talking about, now they're on the attacking side. Do we see a lot of the same injection, a lot of the fast go, or are they a bit more calculated?
Well, we see right now 2 players up and drop. So I think they have that same go. There's already a breach stun getting ready to be put down inside of Arcade from Zelsis, while the other players are going a little slower. Off of contact, potentially that Haunt finds something, and that actually exposes their halls right now. Look at all the players walking through sand very early on.
I mean, they've taken everything.
But be careful here. There's a kill setup with the alarm bot and that nano swarm under the A side. See if Saucy actually determines and plants in that position. No, he won't.
It's a really nice nade. Zekin finding some space in the cover of the smoke. Hey, this is all just buying time. How are we this far into the round and nobody's died? There's the first to go down. Zeppa swinging out, cleaning up the opposing rays. 4v4 here. So many members of Cloud9 are just so weak, man. Rooney is nothing but a sliver of health. But Leaf getting 2 keeps things interesting. 2v2 here, and it all falls down on Rooney. He cannot deliver. He cannot.
Absolutely brutal final 2 to get through. Mart with the armor, and Pancata as well with the ghost. It's just perfectly set up to get people trying to rush past and get in towards that spike. And Cloud9 lose the pistol, so their woes continue here on Fracture. Sentinels look fantastic, and like the Des was talking about, we need to see disruption. Let's see if it can come in the form of this eco right now. 3 players, 4 players grouped up to actually challenge through on drop. Kind of like we saw in the last round, but it didn't actually lead to anything.
No, it's just Marved here too. He gets pushed back initially, but repositions and stays. Is he biting off a bit too much here? Ahead with the fault line, Marv gets 2. And Saucy deciding he wants to go take the fight. He doesn't want to take the space. He doesn't want B. He just wants the frags. And it works.
That's great support from Saucy coming back into Arcade there to use his utility to trade out the kills that Marv is attempting to get as well. Just good support on the team all around. And both of the aggros drop so far have failed from Cloud9. Not because, I mean, in this case, it was because there was actually a challenge from Sentinels there, but mostly because the idea is not finding. It's a gamble in a sense. A lot of times on these defensive sides, you're going for gambles because there's 4 spots that they could be defaulting at. And there's easy reactions to make on the attack side if you spot on any corner. Nice hold here from Zekin, just holding out the nade. And again, that's the same approach from Cloud9. 3 players pushing through Arcade. The haunt this time dodged from Pancata. And that actually leaves a massive gap here in Hull. Sentinel still not actually exposing that gap right now.
And there's a huge gap there, and Pancata's filling in the other gap that's been left. Look at how far up he is at this point. He's got the alarm bot, though. He's going to have to deal with that. Meanwhile, what?
He's just been disgusting. I mean, proving why he was one of the first people to be picked up for a team in the offseason. Off of the scattered remains of Exet.
The kid is the truth, man. 2 filthy kills. He's still healthy. He still has an opportunity to get more. And everything from Cloud9 just feels so labored right now. Sentinels are doing such a good job of using their utility to draw a line.
And it will be a save, too.
Yeah.
Speaking of lines, Cloud9 not willing to pass through spawn, past the line of scrimmage that Sentinels has put down. And I will say, looking at the demeanor right now from the players, the leaders on this team, and how that's affecting some of the players who are struggling a little bit. In terms of Rooney, for example, had a very rough half. They might get all punished here. The stun. The C's actually delays a little bit, so it actually nullifies the stun. Cloud9 hanging on to just these 3 guns right now. They get them all.
Fortunate for him, too.
But that's match point now, so they needed every single one going forward.
I mean, Jake is going on rifle with no armor. That's the only thing he can afford. Zeppa's in an even worse spot.
Rifle glass cannon is there. Definitely not the normal play that you go for, but okay. Has only one extra smoke here. And we're going to see the shift from not north side, but down into tree instead for Cloud9. And Pancata's already spotted it off, and that's why you're seeing the reaction to here. Zekin immediately pouncing on the knife, clearing everything there. So much space gained.
Keep an eye on Marv's ult here. Well done by Zeppa. Upgrades the weapon.
And even if, you know, Cloud9 starts stringing a couple rounds together, they need to as well have ults to go blow for blow with Mars. That's going to come up with Saucy. That's going to come up. Yeah. Those 2 in combination can be really nasty. The good thing that they don't have to worry about is they don't have to save Jake's if he ever gets it up for a KJ ult in this instance.
10, spotting the knee of Rooney. The smoke timing is great, provides just enough cover for TenZ to swing out. Get another kill. Zeppa with so many targets to deal with does take down TenZ, but that's all it is. A 3v3 now. Rooney weak. Spike committed, and they still have Mark's ult to play with.
It didn't get the plan either.
Oh, that's bold. The cage, the smoke, and there were just too many crosshairs trained on him. That gets Cloud9 to 4.
I still had the C's as well, so denying the plant once again. So much denial there. It all comes down to that first kill that Zeppa got onto Zekin when Zekin pounced on tower. That was a really nice play. But Cloud9 did the great thing to counter that out. A smoke immediately landing on Zekin's feet so he can't take extra space, and Zeppa getting inside of it to surprise him.
We'll see what Sentinels choose to do here. You mentioned how powerfully dynamic of a combo it is to have the orbital strike and the rolling thunder. Sasi's 1 point away from having his ult online. You imagine they're going to farm that orb into his hands and then play around it.
Tons of information gained there from Rooney. The fact that they break it, but it's a 2-3 split through A here. And Cloud9 denying the weaker side right now, which gives the space towards them for taking the site. They have to hold on. And there's the pre-ball.
There's nowhere for them to go! Zeppa's dead! Zelsys is close too. Still manages to stay alive, get the kill, and they push back on the trap that they found themselves in. And they push their way into what should be another round. Unless Ozzy can pull off an absolute miracle.
Fighting back.
A 1v4, 1v2 now. There were just too many targets.
That's classic Zelsys right there as well. Once everything comes in, once this Brim ult is coming in, they're doing a really good job at fighting through quickly and effectively to deny the split from coming in. The trades and spacing from Zelsys are so good.
Let's go.
The fact that Cloud9 is consistently, in those situations, getting the better of their opponents is so impressive to watch.
Planted.
Huge round out by Rooney there too. We talked about Zelsys a good bit, but we were just referring to how Rooney has struggled on this map, especially relative to what we saw in Pearl. Big round for him. Still a long way to go for Cloud9 though, as the second timeout is called by MCE.
He's got to use this to get through 7 rounds. And I spoke a little bit about how Kaplan was denying time for his opposing coach, Mike, yesterday in the 100 Thieves series, not using any of his early on. Right now, Cloud9 is potentially going to be faced with the same situation, so MCE final chance potentially to talk to his team when Sentinels is already on match point. This would be a comeback of crazy magnitudes, and it does feel like they've kind of balanced out in the last 2 rounds compared to the beginning of this half when they were constantly going aggro. They were constantly trying to find some early value, kind of replicate what Sentinels was doing on that first half to them on this defensive side. And I'm wondering if they want to eventually shift back, but that's going to be such a big risk. Eventually it's going to have to happen if this comeback will come to fruition.
You were talking a little bit ago about ult economy and how that's going to play out as far as timings and can they meet the punches that Sentinels have. Right now, they're just a couple away from having 3 ults online.
They did a good job at actually getting through that round with Sasi and Marv using their ults in the last one. And Rooney has swapped over to throw this haunt in arcade instead, which is leading them as it gets broken to actually push through drop, but this is going to come very late. Second, great satchel, and the first 2 picks give him not only the ult, but a huge 5v3 advantage right now.
And for this to be how things close out, it goes back to the decisive aggression from Sentinels that we saw so much on the defensive side.
Comes the ult too.
Now we're seeing it on its...
Oh no!
That hurts.
A lot of damage to him. Leaf 1 HP. Breach ult coming in from Zelsys too. Can they make this work? 2 kills, it's a 3v3.
How is Leaf alive? How is he alive? How have they gotten this round this far?
1 enemy remaining.
Zelsys, clutch situation again, and this time it's not going to work out. Pagata cleans it out as Sentinels take map
2. And this one even more decisive here. Much more decisive here on Fracture for Sentinels. Despite losing the first map, this team has shown resilience over and over. Yesterday they reversed the series after going down in map 1. And now again, it looks like they try to intend to do the same thing against Cloud9. And I have to say, I was questioning what you talked about with Zekin and what Kaplan said in the coach interview after their loss about how they felt like they were playing better. But this game was 100% that same thing. And it can just show you what a shift in identity, a shift in what you're thinking mentally about your state of play.
I mean, you think about all of the aspects of the game, and it felt like Sentinels executed and were in control the entire time, right? They dictated pace. Their execs were gorgeous. They handled their money beautifully. Their ult-economy timing was always in sync. It was pretty.
Just beautiful stuff from Sentinels. And again, super decisive win. Curious out. We're going to the last map now on Split. This is going to be a banger.
And we wouldn't have it any other way. The break, and then we'll get into the third map. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.